everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'll be trying some new makeup from SHEIN SHEGLAM. If you are new here, my name is Natalie. I post videos all about makeup and beauty. If you like what you see here today, I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave. But why don't we get started? So I am very excited / nervous to do today's video because I don't think I've done a video like this before. I've done kind of chatty get ready with me's, which I think there's only a couple on my channel, but I've not done trying a full face of new makeup first impressions and things like that. So hopefully this goes well, especially because there are a few more videos after this that I'm intending to film, but let's see how we get on. So if you're not aware, SHEIN SHEGLAM is the beauty line of the fashion website SHEIN, which is a affordable fashion website which I've purchased a lot of things from in the past. I've always been intrigued by their makeup products and I think they do a little bit of skincare as well, but as of late I've seen more and more people talking about them. So because I was placing an order for some clothing, I thought I would give it a go. I think at the time I purchased they had 20 or 25% off, so it was worth a go because the makeup as well as the clothing is quite affordable. I will try and remember to link everything I mentioned in the description box below. So even though I am saying it's a full face, technically it's not because I don't have any foundation or concealer. I was going to get foundation and concealer, but they had quite a few different options and I couldn't decide what I wanted to get, and I also couldn't decide what shade to get. And when I decided that I wanted to do this type of video with it, I didn't want to risk having the wrong shade matched foundation. So I've come on camera already with foundation and concealer on. The foundation that I have on is the one from Primark. It's the double wear dupe and I've completely forgotten the name of what it is right now, but that's the foundation that I do have on. And then I think the concealer that I've got is one that I picked up from Yes Style, which is one that I quite like. But other than that, I think I do have everything here. I am planning on doing a normal kind of haul of the month type video, which I'll be weirdly filming afterwards, even though I've already looked at everything here and a couple of other videos I want to film, so fingers crossed this goes well. But why don't we get started and I'll go through and show you each of the items as I'm applying it. The next step for me to apply would be powder, and this is the powder that I picked up. This is the Insta-Ready Face and Under Eye Setting Powder Duo. I do already have concealer under my eyes and I didn't think, and I already applied my normal e.l.f. under eye setting powder because I completely forgot that this was a duo of under eye setting powder and face setting powder. So I'm going to be predominantly applying this on my face, but then I might stick a bit extra under my eyes as well. This says it is a silky moisturising pressed powder that is meant to lock in your under eye makeup and fill in any wrinkles. And on the bottom level, a sheer oil absorbing loose powder to keep your face fresh, shine free from AM to PM. So let's see what this is like. Didn't think to open all the packaging before I sat down. This is quite a chunky product. So in the top there we have a pressed powder which is for the under eyes. It's quite white, but the one from e.l.f. that I use is quite white as well. And then in the bottom we do have a sifter here with the loose powder. The only issue I'm noticing straight off the bat is normally with a loose powder I would tip it into the lid, but looking at the lid of this one, it does have a kind of gap around the edge here, which must be the part of where that's kind of sitting. So if I pour that loose powder into there, it's just going to get stuck in all the crevices, so that's not ideal. And now I'm thinking, where can I pour this powder? I might just have to try and pour it out onto itself. Ooh. No, that's a good thing, it's gone everywhere. I've just kind of knocked it on the side and some of it has jumped up into here, so I think as messy as that is, that needs to be my tact. It is definitely a finely milled powder, but yeah, I really don't want to pour it into that lid because especially if it is so finely milled, it's just going to get stuck in all those crevices. I'm just going to use this powder brush, which is one that I got from a subscription box a couple of years ago, which no longer exists. It's called Mop Box, which was a makeup only please, I think it was stood for. And this is my favourite powder brush I still reach for all the time. So let's give this a little go. Yes, very dusty and very finely milled. Let's see. I do kind of just powder all over my face. Try not to talk while applying loose powder because I will inhale it. To be honest, this is quite a matte foundation that I have on anyway, so it probably doesn't need overly setting, but I just want to kind of put it all over my face. Main test is going to be on my nose area because that's where powder tends to cling to. Just powder my forehead first. So it does have a bit of a white cast to it, and it is actually clinging to some dry patches that I have on top of my forehead here. This is something that I used to suffer from quite regularly, and I think it is actually a postpartum thing, because I remember it happening when I first got into makeup, which was around the time that I had my daughter, and I've recently had a son in January, and it seems to be happening again. I used to think it was the foundations, but now I'm just thinking it is my skin. I don't know if I'm possibly producing more oil in my hairline and it's just making makeup sit a little bit funny on the hairline. Very strange. It's not doing too badly with this one. It did do a lot worse the other day with another setting powder that I used. I'm just going to quickly do my nose and see how that goes. Yeah, that's actually quite nice on my nose. It's not clinging to the little dry patch of skin that I have right in the centre of my nose. Again, that's something that stems from pregnancy, because I kept getting blemishes and things across this part of my nose, and it seems to have dried out my skin, but that doesn't seem to be causing any issues there, so that's quite nice. So far so good with that. So the only issue I've got is that the packaging isn't ideal in that respect. I'm just going to quickly put a little bit of the one on top on my under eyes. I do only tend to apply a loose powder under my eyes, so I always go in with my finger, and I don't know how that would work with this one, so I've brought this little brush over, which probably is too big for the under eyes, but I'm going to give this a go because it's the only one I have to hand. But that does seem to be quite tightly packed, because it's not kind of bringing up anything, and it doesn't look like there's anything on the brush either, but let's give it a little go. Yeah, this brush is way too big for under the eyes. This is one from BH Cosmetics from the Brazil set. It's the first time using this brush, but it does feel really nice and soft. I feel like it is picking something up, because it does look a little bit brighter on my under eyes, but I feel like it is emphasising texture. It did say on the box it was supposed to kind of fill wrinkles, but I feel like it's kind of emphasising a bit of texture that I have under my eyes, and it's also clinging to a dry patch of skin I have here by my eye. Not too sold on the under eye setting powder, but impressed with the face powder from what I've tried so far. I do have a couple of lip products to try as well, and one is a lip serum and one is a lip oil, so I might actually stick one of those on now, and then I will take it off to put an actual lipstick on that I have for the end of the video. One is the Jelly Wow Hydrating Lip Oil, and this one is the Oil Lip Serum in Calming Coconut. This one does actually say it has multiple uses. You can use it as a primer under a normal lipstick, an essence during the day, or a lip mask overnight. And then this one is going to be more of an oil, so it does actually say ditch the gloss and reach for a lip oil, so I might be able to perhaps put this on top of the lipstick that I've picked, because this is just a bullet lipstick. So I'm going to stick this lip serum on for now. But this is how this product comes, and it has things inside it, kind of like maybe like moisturising spheres, I'm not too sure. Then it does have this kind of applicator. I presume I twist it up. This is the thing with these kind of products, you feel like you're twisting forever, and then suddenly a load of it comes out. It is a really thin consistency. It does smell really nice, and also tastes really nice because it is coconut, and I do like coconut scented things. And I did just ingest more than I intended to then, because there was a little kind of blob of it on the inside of my lip. Don't do that, even though it does taste quite nice. So that is a really nice thin serum, and it doesn't actually feel like I've got anything on my lips. I always worry with things like this of then putting a lipstick over the top of it that it's going to be too kind of slip slidey, but this feels quite nice, and it's sort of immediately dried down to nothing, but left my lips feeling nice and moisturised. So quite like that one so far. Next we have the two items that I'm kind of most terrified about applying, especially on camera. When it comes to cheek products, I am all about powder blushes, powder bronzers and powder highlighters. The only exception I have to that is I've got one of the Charlotte Tilbury liked ones, which is a liquid highlighter, and that one I can work with fine, but generally I do tend to steer clear of that kind of product. But I was really intrigued by these. So I have a Colour Bloom liquid blush in the shade Rose Ritual, and then a Sun Sculpt liquid bronzer in the shade Soft Tan. So yeah, I don't know why I thought it would be a smart idea to apply this kind of product for the first time on camera. It did look like it was nice and easy online, and I think I've seen a recent video of Emily Noel's and she made it look really easy to apply, so I'm hoping that is the case. I might apply the blush first and see how that goes before I kind of go ham with the bronzer. So this is how they both come. Really gorgeous packaging. So like I said, this was in the shade Rose Ritual and this one is in the shade Soft Tan, and I was really intrigued by the applicator because, as I say, it did make it look nice and easy, and it is a kind of big puff ball, but that is an awful lot of product that has just come out. You can see inside, that's how it looks on the inside. Very saturated little sponge, so how on earth do I wipe this off? It looks like it is very serum like, very intimidating, but yeah, I'm basically just going to scrape this sponge off because that is too much product. But let me just see if there are actually any instructions. Okay, really helpful instructions that just say apply where needed and blend out evenly, but it doesn't tell me how to do that. It says it is effortless. Let's see how this goes. I'm just going to do one dot on each cheek. I'm going to attempt to diffuse it with my finger, and then I'm going to go in with this brush if I need to. Let's just do, oh, wasn't quite a, okay, it's a pretty shade. I always just tend to apply blush to the apples of my cheeks. That is quite pigmented. Let's see if I can, this probably isn't a dense enough brush to do this, but kind of diffusing out, but I just don't want to pick up half of the makeup underneath it. That's always my worry with cream products. Not too sure about that. I mean, it could completely be user error because I'm not used to using cream blushes, but that just seems to have stayed in the place where I first applied it. Maybe I just need to apply it a couple of dots. It's a nice shade, but I don't love how that looks. Kind of looks like I've had my cheeks pinched. Again, it's probably the complete wrong brush for this. I'm trying to make it a bit more dense, but it's quite a loose brush. Let's try the other side. It can't get much worse. Let's just do a couple of, that might be too much again. I think that looks a bit better in that it's a bit more spread out, but it also isn't great. I'm gonna have to go in with another one on this side. Keep going with too much. Right, I'm going to put this back in here because I don't need any more product. This is why I don't like cream products. I feel like I've just made a complete hash of that, and I feel like I now look like one of those dolls with the really rosy cheeks, or a clown. That is so uneven. I did actually bring over my sponge with a bit of foundation left on it to try and, just in case, because I did think this might go wrong. This makes me absolutely terrified now to do the contour. I much prefer how this side looks to this side. I feel like that's a bit more even than this side. That'll have to do because I'm only going to make this worse. So now I'm going to attempt to go in with the contour bronzer shade. The same sort of thing with the sponge, is very saturated, so I'm going to make sure to drain that off. I don't even know what to do. I do normally kind of contour, so this side's completely messed up, so let's do the tiniest. Oh, that one was too high. Let's see. Have I just rubbed off my foundation underneath there? I feel like that just kind of looks like a dirty smudge on my face. This is not going well at all, and I'm really scared to put it up here, so I don't think I'm going to bother. I think I'm just literally going to stick to here. Maybe that's where I went wrong because I did dots. Really not sure about that at all. Let's just try doing a line that side. I don't feel like it blends in the best. I think this is going to be a case of covering it with my hair because I don't like how that looks at all. I think it just looks like kind of like a dirty mark on my face. No, not a fan of that. But again, that just could be complete user error because I'm not used to using liquid products at all. So I will keep trying them and I might look up videos more of how to apply them. But yeah, so that was a bit of a fail with those two products, but I didn't expect much because of the kind of products that they were. So next I have a brow product. This is the Fill Me In 2-in-1 eyebrow pencil and cream. I got this one in the shade number 1 Taupe. I never understand when boxes are this wide for products that are this thin. So this is how this one comes. So we have the chisel tip on that side and a brow mascara on that side. Really like the size of this wand. I don't tend to go in with brow gel or anything like that, so that'll be a learning curve. I do much prefer this shape of eyebrow pencil because my favourite is the Goof Proof from Benefit. This one looks like it might be a tad dark, but let's see. So that actually went on quite easy. It is a tad darker than I'm used to. In the Benefit Goof Proof, I am the shade 2.5, which I think is blonde. This is more brown, even though it said taupe. But that did apply really easily. I do want to quickly run a spoolie through it, and obviously this one has product on. I don't want to make them any darker, so I'm just going to quickly grab the only spoolie I've got, which is in my Goof Proof. So let's give this a little go. It's probably going to make them even darker, which I don't tend to go for, but that's not too bad. It is a really nice spoolie because it is so small. I don't mind how my brows look. They are definitely darker than I've had them for a while, so I kind of wish this had a lighter shade because it is a product that I think I would get a lot of use out of. Because this is shade number 1, I presume it isn't lighter than this one, but so far so good. Pretty impressed with that. Next I purchased a little eyeshadow, and they did have quite a lot of eyeshadows to choose from. I was definitely torn. I did nearly pick up one of their £9 palettes, but in the end I decided to go for one of these quads. They did remind me quite a lot of the ones from Colourpop, which I very recently tried, so I'm keen to kind of compare them because they are a pretty similar price point, if I'm honest. I think this was like £3.50, and I think the ones from Colourpop, actually the ones from Colourpop might be slightly more expensive, but I wanted to compare the formulas. Just to take a quick break to go and tend to my son. He wasn't very happy. Hopefully the camera wasn't knocked when I went out of the room because the door is right behind it. So this is the eyeshadow palette, and this one is in the shades Spellbound, and it's a warm orangey brown colour story, I would say. Now I'm going to try and use all 4 shades if I can. The brush that I'm going in with is from Sigma. This is the brush I pretty much use all the time. This is a double-sided one with a E38 diffused crease on one side and a E54 medium sweeper. I do need to pick up more brushes from Sigma, but I wish they were double-sided. So I'm going to go in with this shade here in my crease. Did have a little bit of kick up in the pan. That's like a kind of dusty mauve shade on the eyes, but quite nice. Let's do the other eye. So I'm quite impressed with that so far. It did blend nice and easily. It's nicely pigmented. Are my eyes even? Probably not, but we're just going to go with it. Then I'm going to go in with this shade here in the outer corner. And that one is richly pigmented as well. And that also blended really nicely. I always go further over with one eye than the other, but I'm only going to put a shimmer over it anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, both of those shades blended really nicely. And I think I'm going to go in with this one on the second half of my lid and then this one on the inner half. These are very, very soft and are probably going to give some fallout because they are really, really buttery. Not actually any fallout from what I can see so far, but that's a really pretty shade. I have the tiniest amount of fallout in the outer corner here, but nothing underneath my eye. Let's go with the other side. They are unbelievably soft to the touch. And again, same on this side, just have a tiny bit of fallout over here, but nothing underneath. But next I'm going to go in with this shade on the inner half of my lid. This one feels a tiny bit drier than that one did, but still quite a lot of product coming up. Getting a bit of fallout with that one in the inner part of my eye. That one's definitely a bit more chunky and possibly chalky. It does blend quite nicely into the other one. So yeah, that shade is definitely more chunky and chalky, and I've got a lot of fallout from that one, whereas I didn't get much from the other one there, so I'm going to try and attempt to clean that up. So that dusted away pretty easily. I do have kind of some fallout on the very inner corner of my eye, but I'm not too bothered about that. Overall, that was super easy to use. The shades blended really nicely. I like the two shimmers in there, and I like the look that it gave overall. I picked this one because I felt like this was something a little different in my collection, in that I don't have too many of these two matte shades kind of colour combination with this more mauvey shade, but that looks really nice. It's kind of like a warm smoky eye. The only issue I have is this shadow being a bit chunky, but other than that I think it looks really nice, and I say the fallout was quite easy to brush away. The next product I picked up is a eyeliner. This is the Expert Creamy Eyeliner, and I got this one in the shade Brown. I do actually have my contact lenses in today because I wouldn't have been able to see the mirror in front of my face otherwise, and I don't tend to put eyeliner in my waterline when I do have contact lenses in, just in case of any transfer, anything like that, but I'm going to give this one a little go because I am intrigued. Again, another wide product with a skinny tube in, but that is really nice packaging. That is how that one looks. Kind of reminds me of the ones from Colourpop, but let's give that a go. I am definitely going to have to get close up to the mirror, so you won't actually see me applying this one, but I'll show you how it looks in a second. Okay, so that applied. I did go a bit under on this eye. I did also have to do a couple of runs over my hand to kind of warm it up because it wouldn't show first of all, but that's quite a nice eyeliner, and I do actually prefer that to the ones I've tried from Colourpop. Next I have a mascara to try. This is the Long Last mascara, which is a full flex tubing mascara, and that's how that one looks. Really pretty kind of lavender packaging. And this is the wand, very reminiscent of the Maybelline Sky High and the Benefit Bang Gal Bang, which I do really like, and I think this was a lengthening mascara, which is what I tend to go for. So let's see how that goes. The wand really nice because it's able to get into all of the lashes. That is how that looks with kind of 1.5 coats. So that is it applied to both eyes. For some reason the lashes on this eye seem to be a bit more curled than this one. These ones are a little bit straighter, but I quite like how that mascara looks. It is nice at lengthening. It doesn't give me any volume at all. Recently I have been leaning more towards volumizing mascaras, but this one looks quite nice and is a nice everyday mascara, I would say. The final thing is the lipstick that I purchased. This is the Glam 101 Lipstick and Liner Duo, and I got this one in the shade Soft Chai. I might inadvertently end up doing a wear test with these products because I was intending to film another video straight after, but this has taken a lot longer to film than I thought it would, so I might need to come back later to film my other videos, so I might be able to kind of film a check-in. So that is how this product comes. This product kind of, to me, looks a little bit cheaper than some of the packaging on the other products that I've tried, but we have the liner on that side and then the lipstick on that side. So let's just line my lips first. It is quite a dry lip pencil. And it is a deeper shade than I thought it would be. Yeah, that is quite dry and dragging on the lips. I think it did say it was a matte formula, but that is quite drying. So let me just try the lipstick to fill that in. So that's how that one looks. This is a much lighter shade than the lip liner. That's going on a little bit better. But I feel like it doesn't match the lip liner. It feels very like balm-like on the lips. I think it is supposed to be a matte lipstick, but if you can see, it is quite balm-like. If I'm honest, I don't love how that looks because that is more of a brown nude than I thought it was going to be. I tend to go for more a pinky nude. I also don't love how it is sitting on the inner part of my lip. I have the line there, so I don't love that. I say I don't love the shade on me either. I was hoping it'd kind of match the eye look a little bit better. Let's see if going over with this lip oil improves it at all, although I don't really want to deposit any lipstick on this lip oil. I might just actually put it on my finger and tap it over. That's how the lip oil looks. a really big doe foot, which reminds me of the Sigma lip oil that I've got. But I am just going to go in with my finger and dab it over rather than putting products on here, because it is depositing quite a bit of the lipstick on my fingers. Like that looks a little bit better with it being a bit more shiny. So the lip oil is in the scent or shade Berry Involved, and it smells exactly like Strawberry Laces, which smells amazing. So I'm excited to try that properly on its own, just as a lip oil rather than on top of a lip product, but it feels really nice. I just don't love the whole lip combo that I've got going on generally, but that's more because of the shade than anything. So here is the finished look. A couple of hits, couple of misses from what I've tried so far, but like I say, it is just first impressions. Out of what I've tried, I would say my favourites are the brow product, the mascara and the eyeshadow palette, so everything kind of eye orientated. They have definitely worked well for me. As for the fails, there are a few. I would say the cheek products are fails, but that could just be down to me, not the actual product itself. I do need to give these more of a go, and I would say the lipstick is also a fail. The lip oil was quite nice, but I need to try that properly on its own. The setting powder was nice, the under eye setting powder, on the fence with that one, and the eyeliner was okay, but yeah, I think these three are the standout products for me. These three are probably the biggest fails. But that was quite fun / nerve-wracking to do this kind of video for the first time. So at the point I'm filming this, it is currently 4 p.m. I'm going to go away and have my tea, put my daughter to bed and things like that, and then I might come back later and do a check-in to see how this is worn. Hopefully we'll try and keep it on as much as possible. I can't see the lip combo staying around for long, but hopefully the eye products will stick around and the powder might help my foundation stay for longer. So the time is currently just gone 9:30. So this is my first official wear test that I've ever done. So I did apply this makeup around about 5 hours ago now, so just thought I would check in and show you how it is doing. Well, first of all with the eyeshadow, because I'm really impressed with how that has stayed in place. Bearing in mind I do have hooded lids. Usually at the 5 hour mark it doesn't look as good as it kind of looks now. The only issue I have is I do have some fallout down my face, but that's not the end of the world because the look has stayed pretty well. The brows have also stayed pretty well intact. I do like how the gel feels in my brows. I don't normally like gels because they can sometimes be a bit crispy feeling, but this feels quite natural and I feel like my brows haven't budged, which is good. I feel like the blush is still pretty visible as well. I did think that that might have faded slightly by now. Also, I was kind of hoping it might have faded slightly by now because I didn't love how it looked, but it looks like it does have some decent longevity to it, which is good. I did have a long wearing foundation on, but usually at around the 4 or 5 hour mark I will start to notice little bits of movement, especially on my nose area, and my nose seems to be as good as when I first applied that powder. So that powder does seem really good and one I'm going to continue using. So far I'm pretty impressed with that powder. Because of how finely milled it was, I did think I would like it, and it does remind me quite a lot of the one I love from Beauty Bakery, but I feel like on my nose area everything is still intact and it hasn't broken up or anything like that, so that's a win for the powder. As for the lip product, that has well and truly gone. I think when I was eating my tea that disappeared, so this is a different lip product that I have on now because I am hoping to go and film another video, which is good considering how long I've had this makeup on for. I am confident enough to film another video with it. I might perhaps tweak the blush slightly, but other than that it's pretty good. As for the contour, I don't think I applied that properly. I don't think you can really see that anymore, but that's not a problem at all because I don't think I applied that properly at all. As for the eyeliner in my waterline, that is still a little bit in place. Eyeliner does struggle to stay in my waterline because I do have quite watery eyes, but you can still see the remains of this, which after 5 hours for me is personally pretty good going. The mascara, I still like how that looks on the lashes. It hasn't flaked or smudged or anything like that, so I've been impressed with that as well. So overall, first impressions of what I've tried from SHEIN, I am pretty impressed. The only products that I didn't like are ones that I don't tend to go for anyway. Okay, the lip product was slightly disappointing, but that was probably down to shade more than anything, and I do need to give the formula a little bit more of a go. But yeah, pretty impressed with what I've tried so far. It does make me want to try more from them, but I will hold fire ordering anything else at the moment. But that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.